So, hello, fellow travelers. Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to be a participant and contributor to the podcast for AIC, or excuse me, AISH, the Association for Integrative and Spiritual Hypnotherapist. And today I'm going to offer just something for you to consider. It's a new perspective around being a robust receiver. Different concept. There are a lot of people who believe that in order to be spiritual, or you can't be spiritual and receive abundance at the same time. So my hope for today is to broaden your understanding around that. To understand the value, the significance, the contribution that you can make universally to being a robust receiver. So I'm going to start with a story. Now listen to this. It's really important because last fall, the area where I live here in Southern Oregon, there was a massive, intense, simultaneous explosion of wildfires. They were all over, peppered all over, like the whole valley here in Rogue Valley was engulfed in flames. And during the chaos and the panic, and the disruption, there was a woman who was being interviewed by a news reporter. And she was visibly shaken. She was trying to hold back her tears, and she shared how everything that she had worked so hard for all her life, and she worked 2 jobs. I think it was for decades, for a couple of like 20 or 30 years, worked 2 jobs to acquire all that she had achieved. And what I found really interesting as I watched her speak, I noticed that she was constantly looking down. Her shoulders were slumped. She never looked at the reporter. She never even lifted her head. And as she continued to share the demise of her property, or her acquisitions, I noticed her deflated energy wasn't because of the shock of all that she had lost, all her possessions, everything she'd worked decades for. What was so traumatic for this woman was the fact that she was now placed in a position of having to ask for assistance, having to ask for help, having to ask for a handout. And she had absolutely no idea how to receive. She'd never been taught that. She'd never been a recipient or willing to be a receiver. Her entire identity was a giver. And it was absolutely annihilated through the wrath of those fires. And really, once I considered this, it's really no wonder that she was so devastated. It's because we are taught in our family systems, in our society, the value of the giver archetype. It permeates our culture. Think about, let me think, Princess Diana, Mother Teresa, Nelson Mandela, all givers. That's what we know. That's what we're taught. But it's not just people who are the giver archetypes. There's consumer brands who tap into and utilize and monopolize that persona, the concept of protecting and caring for and thinking about others. So just think about this. Johnson and Johnson, baby products, right? What do you do for a baby? You care, you give, you love, you adore. There's Allstate. Hands are always open. We'll protect you. Campbell's Soup, for crying out loud, right? Giver, giver, giver. Our families, our society, our culture, our institutions, even the educational process, they don't teach us how to receive. They don't teach us the value of receiving. And I'm going to challenge that today. I'm going to offer you something different to consider. even beyond the fact that we're taught to be only forgivers, only taught how to be givers. As entrepreneurs, as business owners, as movers and shakers of transformation, as facilitators of healing, it's our job to be receivers, to be receptive. And until we're aware and adept at ways that we can receive, we limit, listen to this, we limit our ability to impact and uplift the world that surrounds us. We limit the good that we can bring to the world. It can actually devastate our business to dim our goodness that we have to offer. We dim it down unless we can access, celebrate, honor, and live within that ability to be good and robust receivers. There's a concept for you to consider. So as we know, we can't change anything until we have an awareness of what needs to be changed, right? So an awareness of what we can change, it could be a perspective, a pattern, a belief. It all requires some level of inquiry. So let's take a look at creating an awareness for you. How adept are you at receiving? So if you're willing, play along, just ponder these questions, just like consider how they apply to your life. How willing, how easily do you accept simple compliments? Oh, you look great today. Love that color on you. You look as though everything's going great. What do you feel like you are on top of the world. You look fabulous. It feels so good to be around you. How willing and how easily do you accept those kind of compliments? How easily do you accept the offer of your very dear friend buying you lunch? Here, honey, I'll pay for that. And you're like, no, I got it, I got it, I got it. How willing are you to offer up your heart and your soul to go, yeah, that'd be delightful. Thank you. How willing are you to accept a compliment about something that you've done that is stellar, an accomplishment? Reflect back to that woman who was devastated by that fire or the big fires. How willing are you to receive and accept assistance? How happily do you ask for help? Do you decline offers of assistance? Maybe, this is big, maybe you feel unacceptable or you can't accept offers of assistance because you feel like you have to reciprocate, like it's conditional. What if somebody feels negative about the way that you might reciprocate? Or if you don't reciprocate in the same level, like your mind can go crazy. Do you think that most people value you or scrutinize your ulterior motives? Maybe you scrutinize their ulterior motives. Maybe they want something more from you if they ask of you something. Maybe you feel undeserving of anyone doing something special or kind or loving for you. Maybe you even feel, let's see, maybe you even feel obligated to do something as the same caliber as someone else has done for you. There's a lot to consider here. So maybe if you're willing, just listen and dive in deeper. You might even do a few things like put conditions on your abilities to receive what you want and what you desire. So oh, my bad. Hope you guys didn't hear that. So maybe you hear yourself say, I can only ask for what I want if, here's the if, if it doesn't make someone else feel upset or angry. Or maybe you say to yourself, or you hear internally in your dialogue, I'll ask for what I want if it doesn't interfere with what other people want for themselves. Like putting other people in front of yourself, right? Maybe you think, I'll ask for what I want if other people agree with me. Validation is another element that's involved here. And this, just asking those questions like, what if, do I think, and if, is this my belief system? It'll give you another dimension of challenging those limiting thoughts and beliefs around giving and receiving. What blocks hold you back? There's also beliefs that have been imprinted upon you since birth, even before birth, that you've been receiving since you offered yourself into this world. Beliefs that were ancestral, familial, let's see, societal. There's all kinds of different beliefs. Like here's an illusion. And I'll challenge you if this is yours. What if something that you want is greedy and selfish? Something you want for yourself is greedy and selfish. Is that your belief? Or maybe there's a different one. A good person only thinks of what others want before they think of what they want for themselves. Another like limiting thought or belief is people who achieve success while enduring significant hardships are admirable. How's that fall into receiving? The reciprocity of give and receive. A good mother's place is in her child's desire above her own. A good employee, a good daughter, a good son, a good person, all those are limiting beliefs. Just consider how your beliefs might be limiting your ability to receive. And these are hard lessons learned, right? I speak from experience. So maybe you've discovered that at some point in your life, maybe you decided that the needs of others are more important than yours. Maybe you learn that most of your energy is invested in others, and that leaves you little or no energy for yourself. Maybe you even recognized a childhood money story that you've incorporated as your own and limited your own autonomy. There's a lot of ugly heads to be reared here. And all this contributes to, I'm inclined to believe that you probably haven't had enough guilt-free practice in including yourself in your own vision of the world. You don't have enough experience of allowing space for what you want. You haven't included yourself in the vision of the world that you have, which means the world, the universe, whatever you call it, hasn't been able to include you in all it has to give. So one way to begin that shift, to release those misperceptions and misunderstandings, is to understand the cyclical nature, and we're all part of it, of giving and receiving. So think about this very fundamentally. We breathe in, receive, we exhale, which is give, right? That's the active state of inward and outward. Give and receive. So if you can consider basically our existence and the reciprocity of plants, trees, bushes, flowers. We breathe in, We receive what they offer, oxygen, clear air, right? And we exhale, and they thrive on what we give outwardly. It's a this and a that. We receive from them and we exhale and give out to them. So it's cyclical, it's repetitive, it's receptive, it's intuitive, it's inward and outward. Free of limitations. There's no identity there. It's natural. So you can consider all the moments that you spend your time, your energy in active receiving, right? And exhaling externally, your receptive and giving states, receive and give. So an adept receiver understands the law of giving and receiving. It swings both ways. Sometimes you give, other times you receive. And we are participants in both. We have an absolute spiritual obligation to do both, give and receive, because we contribute to the balance of the universe. And if we're constantly giving, depleting, we deny the principle of balance, which is always at play. It's always at play. We just need to tap into it and participate and put our heart into receiving. So one way that we can do this, we can shift. Here's an activity for you. We can shift our just foundational limiting perceptions of having to give, right? Just through our breath. We receive and we contribute by exhaling. Another really simple way is to take your hands and put them out in front of you and flip them over so that your palms are up. You see that? Palms up. That's a sign to the whole universe, God, angels, cosmic source, whatever you guys want to call it, that you are willing to receive. So you give with your heart and you receive. And isn't it interesting? Hands are connected to the arms, are connected to the heart. And there's the profound impact of both giving and receiving. That's your job. Consider that as your job, not only to give, but to receive so that you contribute to that cyclical nature of the universe. It's your job. And if you do less than give and receive, consider the option of it being an absolute disservice to the universe. To be only a giver is a disservice to the universe. It's our job, our responsibility to contribute to the cycle of balance within the universe, to be a receiver. And therein is the spiritual law, whatever that might be, the spiritual nature of giving and receiving. So recognize, here's the invitation, recognize and honor your contribution as an integral part of being something much larger. It's not just Suzy in her shoes and going to work and depositing that check and giving this and that and the other. It's much larger. I'm going to invite you to embrace your own ability to positively affect the planet, the universe, the cosmos, generations to come, by contributing to the balance and be a robust receiver. Flip your palms up, be willing. Palms up, receive, all the way up into your heart, from which you give and receive again. Be part of that cyclical nature. It's your job. It's spiritual. So there's the invitation.
Thank you, Suzy. Do we have a few minutes for some questions? That was absolutely phenomenal.
I hope so. Please ask your questions.
That was phenomenal. I just want to say I felt that. that's been my pattern for my life. Do, give, give, give. And I do say these similar things to my clients, but at the same time, I'm like, well, when are you going to do that all the way?
So that's a question, darling. When are you?
Yeah. And I also heard you say, do you scrutinize others' motives for giving to me? Why do they want to give to me? And that is something that I do know I still deal with, and I don't enjoy that, but there is that. What do they want? You know, I'm looking for the strings attached. There may or may not be some there, but that's part of my makeup. So thank you for pointing that out to me. And I have been working on this a lot right now. And I got to it with this phrase called nobility and suffering.
Mhm.
And I was
Interesting.
like, yeah, because I was like, because you said achieve success while enduring hardship. And I was like, well, doesn't that sum up nobility and suffering for me? So that really opened up something. So this is very topical for me. So thank you for talking about this. I really, really enjoyed your perspective on that, and it's very wise. And I learned a lot. So thank you.
Thank you for your contribution. I appreciate you so much, Melissa.
Who else has a question or comment?
Just a comment. That really sums up my childhood. I think it might have been my grandmother. She read the Bible a lot. Isn't it in the Bible? It's holier or something to give than to receive.
Yeah.
It's always better to give, and especially I think especially as women, we are
Yep.
encouraged to give and give and give and give. And it's taken me, like Melissa says, taken me a while, way better than I used to be. Uh, it's so hard still, though, to ask for what I want. It, yeah, it's ingrained pretty well in there. So I really
Yep.
loved what you had to say about it. It was very
And
enlightening.
you know what I think is really interesting when we separate from our 3D, experience and expand higher and from a holier, I'll say holier perspective, to see how we contribute to the imbalance of the universe by only being givers. Like we think we're doing the best thing, but we're really cheating the universe out of that balance. That puts the whole different perspective of responsibility and imprint and importance and impact of receiving. Like hands open, please. Oh, I need help. Help me out, right? And just receive, whether it's abundance, whether it's assistance, whether it's insight, whether it's companionship, love, loyalty, joy, whatever it is. Just like put your hands up. I'm willing.
You know, that reminds me of years ago. I would see people who had things that I wanted, and I would tell myself why I couldn't have it. I would explain to myself why I couldn't have it. And then somewhere there was a shift, and I would see people with things that I wanted in my own life, and I would think, oh, that does exist over here. Here I am. I'll have that. And I would say to myself, I'll have that. I'll have that. And I don't even know what created that shift into I am willing to be more open, but it was a significant change.
Yep. And therein lies the receptivity, the fact that you were willing to accept that change.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Gift
a
to
lot more
yourself.
fun.
Yeah.
Hmm?
That was a gift to yourself.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
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 I found for myself that I kind of got that a little bit better when I was like, well, how good do I feel when I am able to give to someone else? And I'm literally robbing other people of the experience of being a giver to me. If I like, no thanks, I can get the door myself. No thanks, you don't have to help me. Everybody likes to feel like a little bit of a hero when they help somebody out, and if I don't let them do that, I'm literally taking away their
Yes.
experience of that open-heartedness. So that was one of the things that let me start doing that a little bit better, but I still have some work to do.
Don't we all?
I
Thank
think
goodness, right?
this is a
Yeah.
struggle for everybody because it's the way we're conditioned
Hmm.
to, give
Hmm.
and also worry about what everybody else thinks.
Hmm.
Right. The thing that really popped out to me, Susie, during your presentation was the mind, body, spirit connection. And when you're talking about, the breath, how
Yep.
many of us are shallow breathers.
Yep.
That's the manifestation, physical manifestation of that, right? We're not even literally giving ourselves the oxygenation that our body optimally needs, right? Because we are not present in our body because why? We're in our head thinking about everything else other than ourselves. Let me also say this too. As a mother, oh my God, this is such the case, right? Besides the fact that, as a footnote too, I can't tell you how many times I tell my clients, yeah, so many of us are have subconscious filters running that we are our value is defined by what we do. So it sets up for that, right? But as a mother, I remember most of the time that I was raising my children that it was not okay for me to consider myself. That was my belief. I felt like martyrdom made me a better mother. And until one day I hit a wall and couldn't do it another moment and had an epiphany. I think it was one of those destined moments, and I realized that my job here is to fill my cup and give from the overflow. And that makes me a better mother. That makes me a better, happier, present mother. And to tend to me first, put the oxygen mask on first, made me a better mother and made healthier, happier, more well adjusted children. I can't tell you how big of a shift that was for me. Yeah.
Touche. Mhm.
This was really good. Thank you for that, Suzy.
Thank you.
Absolutely wonderful.
This was good. I think anybody can take a lesson from this, and just the imagery that you're using today, it does bring a different level of awareness because I think we all know that that, well, maybe we don't. Even Melissa today when we were logging on, I said, "Oh, I feel like I'm coming in with my hair blown back." Well, it is literally, but she says, "Oh, well, it doesn't look like it." And I said, "Thank you. It's because you love me." So I was even dismissive of her compliment, and it just brought it back to me. It's like, oh my God, I do that all the time. Do
Stop.
better. Do better, be better, Kelly. Because especially from somebody who I know literally means it and comes from the heart with it. So note to self.
Loves you dearly. Yep.
Mm.
All right. Well, I think are we ready to close out? Anything else we need to add?
I think this was wonderful.
It was.
Until the
Thank you.
next
Phenomenal.
time, ladies.
Phenomenal.
All right.
What a wonderful share. Thank you, Suzy.
Thank you,
It's my
Susie.
pleasure.
We'll see everybody on the next episode.
We
Stay
will.
tuned.